You're this perp back with another video, and man, I swear this show just keeps getting better and better in my opinion. A lot to talk about, a lot to break down. But before I get into this review, hit that like button, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at perpminder420, and this is Chucky season 1, episode 6, entitled Cape Queer, of course. Whatever. But also make sure you check out my Perp Show Award nominees. I just put all those out. I got like 2 more categories to go, but definitely check those out. Let me know your thoughts. But diving right into this episode, we pick up with Andy and Kyle in what they've pretty much been doing this whole time, and how they're tracking down all these Chucky dolls, or the remaining Chucky dolls from Cult of Chucky. I like how they're posing as these people, going into people's houses, kind of pretty much checking up what's inside of the house and whatnot. I think they're just posing as like FBI agents or something like that. I could be wrong, but this was a really dope opening. Also, we get more of Tiff's character as well in this. So we also see the psychological damage that Chucky has done to Andy, because Andy is definitely not all the way there. He's definitely mentally broken down, and I'm really curious to see how they're going to flesh that out even more going through this series, and maybe going into season 2. But back at Jake's school, things are starting to shake up, as his biology teacher, Mrs. Fairchild, has been arrested and has been pretty much charges against her. Like, she's being blamed for the murders that have been going on and whatnot. We'll get into all that, because I'm telling you, bro, that is Glenda. I'm telling you right now that is Glenda, and she's been suspect since episode 1 for me. Let me know how you guys feel about that in the comments below. Of course, the gang has to pretty much figure out how we can find Andy and stuff like that. Meanwhile, back with Tiffany and Nika. Nika's starting to come back, and this goes into a lot of interesting territory, which I'm wondering how they're going to kind of flesh all this out with Nika's character, and how she can somewhat still come back, but sometimes get possessed by Chucky again. Also find out how they get this red car and stuff, which honestly didn't really care for. We didn't really need this backstory. The voiceovers are still like really cringy. I still appreciate that this is Brad Dourif's daughter that is playing him in the 80s and stuff. It's really cool, but it's a little unnecessary. But it is cool that we're starting to get the little voodoo tease, that we see Chucky reading a book about voodoo. So maybe we'll get more of that next episode. But here's some heartbreaking stuff in this episode, man. So Bree decides to tell everybody, she has cancer, and Junior really kind of is heartbroken by this, more so than Logan. And I really think that this is planting the seeds for Junior to go down a dark path. And I hope they don't kind of just, I hope they don't pull a Jake and just literally like kind of flip the script where he's like, no, I want to be better than that. I really hope that they kind of take this villain role with Junior's character, because we need some new batch of killers. You know what I'm saying? I'll get into all that throughout this review. So now we go over to Tiff and Nika, because this is really interesting, because Tiff like sees this coming from a mile away. Like, you're Nika, you're back. So her whole plan is to try to separate Nika from Chucky, and I don't know. Tiff is just crazy. You see in this episode that Tiff is just crazier than Chucky, and maybe it wasn't a great idea to have her tag along. We'll just see where that goes. But Tiff also gets a house as well. So I don't know what she's planning on doing right here. She's kind of got her own thing going. Maybe Chucky will probably try to stop Tiff and finally kill her. I don't know. Let me know how y'all feel about that scene as well. Back with the gang now. They're searching for Andy, searching through Twitter and all this stuff and all these different social media platforms. And I guess they settle on Facebook. He's still on Facebook, which is pretty funny. They tries to make it a joke, but also, you know, Lexi and Junior have this scene where you think that Lexi's kind of is trying to sympathize and try to be there for Junior, but then kind of is distracted by other things. And Lexi tried to tell Junior the truth, but obviously he doesn't want to believe it. And he makes the first step into breaking up with Lexi, and Lexi was kind of hurt by this. You could tell throughout this episode that she still cared about Junior, but that's just more things that could lead Junior going down a much darker path. Meanwhile, Jake is able to get in contact with Andy. I assume that these two are going to cross paths probably by the end of the season. Maybe they're going to tease it for season 2. But for right now, they're kind of on their own, and they're going to have to kind of figure things out for themselves as of right now. But now let's get into some really interesting stuff, because as Tiff obviously kind of kidnapped, Nika, we have no idea what she's doing. I want to talk about this scene because this is what I've been talking about, that Jake's biology teacher has always been suspect. I always assumed that this is Glenda and she's trying to go in a different path, because you have Devin's mom ask her about her juvenile past. Obviously, we haven't seen anything, like no flashbacks, and I'm curious to see how they're gonna flesh that out. But it's dope, and this goes to show you how brilliant Chucky is, man. Like he's like 10 steps ahead of people. Like he thought this out so well. He thought this out so well. He used the what are those things? The scalpel things, whatever, that they used at the school to kill Oliver. So like everything can trace back to Mrs. Fairchild and stuff. It was really dope, man. People need to give Chucky his credits. Give him his flowers, man. This man is brilliant. Now let's get into the most heartbreaking death scene of the season. I thought last week was my favorite, but this one took the cake, where you have Bree pretty much accepting her fate, accepting that she's having cancer. She doesn't even want to take treatment. She doesn't want to get treatment. And I really like this little moment, this last moment that Junior has with his mom, and them just talking in the car, and Junior's asking his mom, like, why don't you ever talk about this stuff at home? And she just really doesn't want to bring her feelings onto other people and stuff. It might be selfish, but she wants to really connect with her family, and that's why she decides not to pretty much get treatment. But man, when she leaves this she leaves her therapist, she gets a little bit too close to the window, and Chucky finds the perfect opportunity to pretty much toss her out the window and make it look like a suicide, which even is more fucked up. And I like this real scene where Junior really doesn't want any parts with Jake. He blames a lot of this on Jake, and I really want to see this kid turn heel, man. I think this is a perfect opportunity. They plant the perfect seeds for Junior's character to just say, you know what, to hell with this perfect lifestyle and stuff. I'ma just be a killer or something like that, or I want to get revenge. So it's a lot of interesting stuff. And then we get also another a scene of Devin talking to his mom, and this leads into another thing with Devin's mom, which is another heartbreaking moment of the season so far, of the whole entire series. And Devin pretty much opening up to his mother about how he feels about Jake, and his mom not really judging him, even though, and that's what's really dope. It was a really dope moment, a good moment, the last moment probably that they're going to have, which is really sad. And Devin was also watching a movie that he kind of got this idea to kind of trap Chucky. So this almost felt like some Home Alone shit, like where they're just setting up this trap to trap Chucky in this house so they can pretty much get rid of him. But then things kind of go sideways. And I also like this scene of, not Junior, Devin and Jake pretty much accepting one another, and Jake's pretty much saying, like, when this is all over, I'm gonna take you on a date. But this gets interrupted as they realize that Chucky is in the building. Lexi's upstairs by herself, and she kind of gets cornered by Chucky, but Jake is just creeping around the corner, just like right behind him, and Chucky kind of makes this offer to Lexi, like, I'll let you go only if you kill Jake. I know you have it in you. And this is where Chucky pretty much gets caught lacking. Jake had a perfect opportunity, honestly, to take out Chucky right there, but he kind of hesitated. Chucky was able to almost get away, but then Devin tased Chucky, which was the funniest shit ever. He goes flying. And then he doesn't automatically attack Devin. He just sprints right past him. This leads Devin's mom to come into the house and get ambushed by Chucky, and literally falls down the stairs and breaks her neck. So that's 2 deaths, 2 moms that Chucky killed in this series. And man, we didn't get to see exactly Devin's reaction. I'm assuming that they're going to save that for the next episode. That I'm pretty sure Devin's going to just be devastated, and it's going to be heartbreaking. Probably going to get a funeral. Just really heartbreaking, especially with Junior's mom dying, Bree, and just the way she went. It was just crazy. I thought this was a really dope episode. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode in the comments below. I know YouTube's been messing around with my comment section, so just be patient. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it'll allow me to make the comments open, because every time I go to upload something with this, every time I go to upload a Chucky review, they end up like disabling my comments. So I apologize ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? YouTube's just been messing me up. But let me know how you guys feel about this in the comments below. But until next week, I will see y'all later. Peace.